We're back with a Fox News alert. Cars are smashed and debris is covering the ground in Northeast Philadelphia after a medical plane carrying 6 people crashed. Air traffic control audio captured the chilling moments after the plane went down.
Approach to runway 24, what's going on down there?
Position 765. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now, the field is going to be closed, so no inbounds or outbounds probably.
Hey guys, a Top Gun graduate just analyzed the deadly jet crash that happened there in Pennsylvania. He's got some very interesting things to say about it, guys. You don't want to miss this. He also said, quote, something catastrophic happened on that plane. His name is Matthew Whiz Buckley, and he's going to address this Philadelphia plane crash. Check it out.
Yeah, here to discuss is Top Gun Navy graduate Matthew Whiz Buckley. Matthew, thank you for joining us. You hear that audio. When it first came out, it was reported this was the moments before. Now we understand it makes more sense. It's the moments after. Walk us through what you hear there.
Well, obviously, Tower realized they lost the aircraft. There's previous audio of the control tower clearing them to contact Philadelphia departure, and they don't. So, and either the captain or the first officer of the medevac flight acknowledged that frequency change. So, sounded like everything was fine in the cockpit up until a couple, maybe 30, 40 seconds after that.
Yeah, we're being told that this entire scenario took place in less than a minute, which is hard to believe. But this is something I wanted to ask you about because of your experience with very fast jets. We look at the video, and to the naked eye, to the average person, it looks like a missile coming to the ground at full speed. I know it's a lot to put in perspective, but when you see those videos and you see them all together, what do you see? Do you see a plane that could be at full throttle? Are there mechanical failures that you're reminded of? We showed a graphic at the beginning of the show that shows the steep angle in which it was going up, and now it's going down. Give us any insight you have there, and I know we're speculating.
Absolutely, we're speculating, but in nearly 4 decades of flying and flying fighters, that jet was simply not flying. That was a missile. That was a rocket. Clearly, something catastrophic happened either with the airframe or the engines to cause that. The last radar hits that I believe I saw where it was going down at close to 11,000 feet per minute and close to about 280 knots. So clearly something catastrophic. And looking at the videos, it's on fire. There are flames leaving the aircraft. That tells me there's something catastrophic. Let me share with you something I was thinking about is as an F-18 Hornet pilot and as a civilian pilot, we own our own fighter jet for the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. Before I took off in the Hornet or my personal jet, you go to full power at the hold short or on the runway. Yeah. Why? Because the engines are at the most, power at takeoff. So if anything's going to happen with a motor, it's going to happen in the first couple seconds of flight. Business jets, airliners, they don't go to the hold short and run the motors up to full power. They don't get on the runway and run the motors up to full power. Yeah. So something to think about there. No, absolutely. I've seen that happen.
So the NTSB investigators, they're preparing to examine the newly recovered black box from the Blackhawk helicopter involved in the D.C. crash just a few days ago. President Trump says the military helicopters, he thinks, were flying too high. I want to play a clip real quick of newly minted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on this.
The black box from the Blackhawk. When we do, we'll get a sense of internal communications. That might tell us exactly who was piloting that Blackhawk. You had a captain in training, you had a chief warrant officer too as an instructor, and then you also had a staff sergeant in that Blackhawk as well. Who was talking, who was on the comms, who was piloting, and then what, if any, confusion was there at the end, right? We're looking at altitude, and the president was clear about that. Someone was at the wrong altitude.
Yeah, we're not here to point fingers. I don't think that President Trump or Pete Hegseth are as well. But when we look at how closely military operations were happening to civilian air traffic, how common is that? Is that very common? Is it unique to D.C.? I'd love some insight on that.
Well, hitting another aircraft is never common. Around the D.C. area with all the military and civilian aircraft, it looks like controlled chaos, and it is. As long as it's controlled. If somebody doesn't do their job, bad things happen. So I got to tell you, man, Occam's razor, usually the most reasonable thing is the most reasonable thing. They were off course. Route 4 through that corridor, they're supposed to hug the eastern side of the Potomac River. They were completely off course. They were in the middle of the Potomac. The max altitude is 200 feet on Route 4. So you're all the way over to the east. You do not go above 200 feet. But when they said, hey, traffic in sight, the wrong traffic, they might have said, hey, there's nobody around us. Maybe we can deviate a little bit for whatever reason. So there's 2 strikes right there. Off course, off altitude. Third strike is the controller. As soon as he heard traffic in sight, since he was single manning 2 positions, put a mental check mark there that said, I'm busy. They have that other traffic in sight. I'm going to focus on other things.
Yeah.
Never been to air traffic control school, but I can almost guarantee you on day 1, they tell you if you see 2 targets coming at each other on your scope, even if one of those guys said traffic in sight, give them a harder traffic call. Pat 25, confirm you have traffic left 11, level, acknowledge. That would have got the hair on the back of their neck and the helos standing up, and this mishap wouldn't have happened. So a couple links in this chain that if you took one of them out, this didn't happen.
And a tragedy unfolds. Again, we're not here to point blame. We're here to try to understand what happened, and I'm sure we'll learn more as the days go on. Thank you so much for joining us, and of course, thank you for your service.
Okay, guys. So again, I want to say that, of course, with these tragedies, guys, in the aviation world over the last week, our thoughts and prayers are with all the victims and with all the families. And also, guys, I want to say thanks for watching this video up to this point and supporting the channel. Thanks for the likes, guys. Every single time you'll hit that like button, thumbs up, it helps out with the channel. And I want to say that I appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, consider joining the difference, guys, and subscribing to the channel. Now, what I wanted to talk about here is just the possibility of government and bureaucratic failures in aviation safety that's leading to these issues that we're seeing. Because why are we seeing an increase in catastrophic aviation incidents? And I want to be very respectful with this, right? But I think it's important for us to ask the questions, are government agencies like the FAA, the NTSB, are they failing to enforce proper safety protocols? You saw just in that video right there, there are 3 strikes, guys. And if any of those 3 wouldn't have happened, or if they would have just followed the correct procedures, this wouldn't have happened. Increased bureaucracy, though, guys, it often leads to what? Slow responses, ineffective oversight. So could that have played a role in it? Absolutely. Now, military, civilian aviation safety, they're at high risk due to mismanagement, and we do have to recognize that because there's been a lot of reports that suggest that air traffic control failures contributed to the DC Blackhawk crash. So why wasn't proper communication in place? The military operates under strict guidelines, yet this accident happened right in the heart of the nation's capital. So we have to ask who's being held responsible for this. Who's accountable? Who dropped the ball here? It was the Biden administration before Donald Trump took over. Were they prioritizing the right concerns in aviation? Just the 2 things that come to mind, and I know that Donald Trump's already harped on one of them. There's a growing push for DEI hiring practices in critical sectors like aviation. Again, I want to be very respectful that, we had a tragedy that just happened, but could a focus on ideology over merit be affecting pilot training and air traffic control decisions? Let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. And also, are we focusing too much on climate policies for aviation rather than ensuring pilots and controllers have the best training and the best equipment available? When tragedies like this happen, accountability matters. People want to blame someone, and I understand that. And with when I think of the media, I have to ask the question, will the media hold government agencies responsible? Or will they sweep this under the rug? Or will it turn out to just be pilot error? Will it just be user error in a place where everything was done right by the government, everything was done right by all these agencies, but it was just a terrible accident where somebody didn't do what they should have been doing? Whatever it is, we demand transparency. And we have to ask who in these agencies, who in this government will answer for these failures. And should anyone? Really, that's what I want to leave it to you guys. Put put an answer down in the comments down below. But do you think the government mismanagement and bureaucracy are contributing to the increase in aviation disasters that we're seeing all around us? Let me know. Yes, no. Maybe you think more investigations needed. Maybe you think it was pilot error, mechanical failures that the government really, it didn't matter what the government did. These were going to happen anyway because of the pilot and because of the mechanical errors. Maybe you just don't know. I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, guys. I want to say I appreciate all the likes. Appreciate the support, guys. Be sure you're subscribed because I've got so many updates I want to bring you guys as this is breaking crazy stuff. I'll be back tomorrow to give y'all some more updates on what's going on. So make sure you're subscribed, guys, and I'll see you then. All right. Y'all take it easy.